The 14 men were unprotected, returning home on a road they'd used several times before, a road viewed by the security forces as dangerous. It is not normally approved for travel by police officers or soldiers. Now their vulnerability is obvious, but before it happened, no one could have anticipated the premeditated massacre of civilians going home. Never before have workmen been targeted in an IRA attack of this scale. The provisionals used one of the biggest bombs they've ever detonated. 1,500 pounds of explosives rendered the minibus virtually unrecognisable. The fact some occupants survived is remarkable. This footage shows how far the bus was thrown. In the middle of the picture is the wreckage. Top right is the crater by the side of the road. On the ground between both points was strewn the belongings of 7 dead and 7 injured. 3 of those killed were from Cookstown. David Harkness was 23 and single. Cecil Caldwell was 37 and married with 2 daughters. William Bleeks was 35 and unmarried. 2 of the victims were from Ballymena. Nigel McKee, at 22, the youngest of the dead, was a single man. Robert Irons, aged 61, was married with a son. The other men killed were Robert Dunseith, 25 and single, from Maharafelt, and John McConnell, 38, married with 2 sons and a daughter, from Doak. Of the injured, 1 remains in a critical condition now in Belfast Royal Victoria Hospital. 2 others have also been transferred. They've gone to the Elton-Gelvin Hospital in Londonderry for specialist eye treatment. The other 4 are being treated for lacerations. Last night, a number of civilians who stopped at the scene performed first aid. The police said today that they had done sterling work and had been a tremendous help and comfort to the injured. One of the first on the scene was the driver of a school bus.
The shock of the explosion actually jolted the bus. I was able to brake the bus and stop. And then I noticed out of the dust this van sliding down the road and coming to a halt just at the junction. I then was aware of a man in the middle of the road who was staggering about, and I pulled the bus on up a bit closer to the scene and went over and tried to help him. He had a headwind. I got a scarf from one of the school kids to wrap around the man's head, and I told them to stay in the bus because it had been a bomb and that it should stay where they're at. But I think 1 or 2 of them approached the scene and saw the carnage. So it was pretty horrendous, to say the least.
This morning, the security minister, now facing his sternest test in that post, announced that more troops are on the way.
The Secretary of State and I met with the Chief Constable and the GOC at the beginning of the week to look at the security situation. And arising out of that meeting, a decision was made to bring extra troops to the province. That decision was made some days ago. It is not, repeat, not a reaction to last night. It was made some days ago. Those arrangements are well in hand, and the troops will be arriving very shortly. These 14 men were decent, hard-working men, serving the community by doing some work on a security force base. I utterly repudiate any suggestion by P.I.R.A. that they were in any way whatsoever legitimate targets, to use their words. They were serving the community. And let us be quite clear that when the Provisional IRA use such phrases, what they are seeking to do is to justify to the world their decision to murder.
The reinforcement announcement bears out the comments made last night at the scene by the Chief Constable.
We are not slipping into Armageddon. We have a very, very serious situation. It's been serious for some time. It might get slightly more serious, but we will handle the situation with the help of the public.